Here's a quick cut preview of an upcoming episode of the Work It, Live It, Own It podcast.
So what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs, content creators who are looking to start their own platforms aimed at empowering others' knowledge and resources just like you?
Yeah, I would say the one thing is understand what your problem is. And at times, for me, my problem has always been a reassurance for me to keep going. Because if you know exactly what the problem is, if you know the market that you're getting into, and if you know how much that industry is worth, that is something that it will always be reassuring when you going through your process of entrepreneurship or content creating. You'll know that when it's times get kind of rocky, maybe I should have chose something different, or I won't be successful in this. If you go back to the start, which is that problem, or which is how big is this market? Is there a market for it? That will kind of reassure you and keep pushing. So make sure you understand that I say the need, the problem before the product. Make sure you're actually trying to achieve that problem. Make sure you're doing things to better others and not so focus on what you're selling. Try to relate to them. Try to understand what their struggles are. I think that is something that I wish I would have done at first. Understand the pain points truly. Because when you're understanding that, and then try to find a way if you can relate to. Because if you're relatable, if you're really understanding of what it is that they're going through or what it is that problem, then your product will just kind of come in second nature because it's something that supports that. And it's not like you're pushing the product on them, you're actually pushing to solve that problem. So I would say before anything, understand the problem, understand the market, understand, is this a lucrative industry? Understand, is it scalable? Like in the next 5 to 10 years, will this even still be an industry? And if it is, what does that look like? And how would you be willing to move with that? So kind of doing that research before even coming up with a solution or even making everything shiny and pretty through the business, doing the gritty stuff, the stuff that's not fun. So I would say do that first, that research.
I'm not going to even chime in on that, but I'm in full agreement. I've mentioned that before because a lot of times when we start a business, we think about the shiny business cards, website, and nobody cares about that really. They care about what's in it for them. It's not sexy. It's not fun to sit up here and be like, okay, what are people's problems? What are their struggles? What keeps them awake at night? But when you truly understand that, like Rushell says, you are speaking. When you know your target audience, you know what keeps them up at night, you can speak their language. And then they want to know, okay, what's in it for me? Well, fortunately, I have some practical knowledge and resources to share with you to take you from where you are right now to where you need to go. If you know your why, I'm here to help, to be of service. I'm here to help solve that problem. Like Rushell just mentioned, great. Guess what? It's going to keep you going. Right. But a lot of entrepreneurs give up.
They do. And honestly, I do think it has a lot to do with that either during COVID and after COVID, we saw a lot of people starting businesses. For me, I saw it everywhere on social media. It was made to make it seem like it was so simple. All you have to do is get a logo, get a business name, get an LLC, go to whatever.com and get everything. And then boom, you're making $10,000 a month. And I was like, okay, even though I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur from the beginning and I was going to do it regardless, but I think it was very misleading. It was very easy to do. And then I think a lot of people started to realize that this is not as easy as it seems. It's like 1 minute you're up, then the next minute you can be like starting from the bottom. That's the process that I'm going in right now, just like doing minor rebranding, finding what I'm trying to do, refining everything, and then to changing things. It's really a journey.
I feel you. I feel you. We can talk about this all day long because there are ups and downs, but you know what I remind myself? At the end of every race, there's a beginning of a new one. When you get to the bottom of a mountain or you're at the top of the mountain, guess what? There's going to be another mountain to climb. And there's going to be those peaks. There's going to be those valleys. And guess what? When you're riding high, it's one of my mentors. I've never met him yet. I haven't met him yet. I'm looking forward to meeting him one day. Brian Buffini says that when you're at the top of the mountain, you throw a little dirt down into the valley because then your fall won't be as far and deep because you're already preparing, because you're going to have those ebbs and flows. So Rushell, I want to thank you so much for being so transparent with your journey, with your story, And my heart really goes out to what you're doing, because here's a person again who secured almost $250,000 in scholarship money. So when you finished your 4-year degree, though, I'm curious, did you walk away debt free, or did you have to pay like just a little bit?
Yeah, so I have to pay back a little bit only because this was around COVID and I decided to take like extra classes. I got in a point where I just got tired of applying. So like I said, I took everything kind of step by step. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go through it and I'm not going to worry about it. So that was kind of on my own fault because I lost motivation. I lost the reason that I was doing it, but it's not something that would keep me back, meaning like it's something that I could pay off easily, not something I have to set up necessarily a payment plan to do, which is the goal. Like I say all the time, if you can, debt free is great, but if you can't, go for as little as possible. That way you're not paying a car back as far as student loans. That's how I like to think about it. I mean, who wants to pay? That's money for a new car. That's money for a down payment. Or you don't want to think you're paying a whole trip, a couple trips for it. So when you put it in that perspective, I feel like students can understand that. Go as little as possible. That way it won't handicap you in the future.
Right. It's doable. It's doable. Because
Right.
the last thing you want to do, because starting out getting a job anywhere, they're not going to be paying you top dollar. They're not. And a lot of college students, what do they want to do? They want to have their own place, right? So you want to make sure that if you do have to pay any loans back or anything, that it's doable. It's
Right.
within your budget.